Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to do the best 10 in print, 100% analog R&B and blues records. These are the records that are the best of the best of what you can buy today. This isn't everything that's ever been made. This is the current stuff as far as March 2020 goes. All these can be bought online at our website, www.theingroove.com. I'll put links below in the video. But I'm going to start by showing you Wilson Pickett, the sound of Wilson Pickett. This is done by Speaker's Corner. This is a label that does a lot of fantastic analog R&B records. Everything on the Speaker's Corner label is analog, and they do a lot of great R&B titles. Fantastic record. Has the original funky, or has the second Funky Broadway on it after Dyke and the Blazers from Phoenix, Arizona recorded it. Wilson Pickett covered it, made it a famous song, but Funky Broadway actually written about a street here in Phoenix, Arizona. Great analog record by Speaker's Corner. This particular title, Muddy Waters Folk Singer, comes in a 33 and a 45 RPM. This is the 33 RPM. You can get it either way. Fantastic record. Not the typical Muddy Waters that you would, this is more of him and an acoustic. This is like an early Bob Dylan record. This is just acoustic Muddy Waters. Not his electrified blues stuff that he's most famous for. But if you're into the country, folk blues, fantastic, iconic record, one of the best of all time. 100% analog, done by Analog Productions. This is my absolute favorite in print and probably one of the best of all time analog records. This is Bill Withers' Greatest Hits, done by Mobile Fidelity. I play this in the store all the time. Every single time I play it, I'll sell 2-3 copies. It is absolutely fantastic. And every time it goes out of print, I got to stop playing it in the store because people get angry with me when they can't buy it. They hear it, they love it, they go online and they go up in price. They go for 80, 90, 100 bucks. They want to own it, they can't. I just don't play it. When it comes back in print, I play it and they fly out of here. Every single song on this album is a smash hit on the radio all the time, so almost everybody knows every single song on this. Fantastic record. I highly, highly recommend it. That if you're going to get one record on the list, that Bill Withers' Greatest Hits is the title to get. I demo gear with it all the time, play it in the store all the time. It's probably the single record that I play the most in a while. Al Green by Speaker's Corner. This is Call Me. Speaker's Corner does a couple versions, a couple of Al Green titles. Pure Pleasure also does a couple of Al Green titles. If you're an Al Green fan, I recommend any of the titles by either of those labels. They are fantastic. This is probably Al Green's best record. Sounds fantastic. It's been reissued analog. Vinyl Me Please did some stuff that came and went out of print, but this is currently in print. You can get it. It sounds fantastic. R&B. You don't see a lot of Mobile Fidelity titles. This is another one. This is Curtis Mayfield's Superfly. It's essentially a soundtrack, but a funk soundtrack at 45 RPM. Absolutely sounds fantastic. Pusherman on this is another demo track for me. I love playing it to demo gear. It sounds absolutely fantastic. They only did 4,000 of these. Don't sleep on it. They're not something that they can just make an infinite amount of like a normal Mobile Fidelity title. They had 4,000 of these. When the 4,000 of them sell, that's it. This is a great killer record, musically and sound-wise. Otis Blue. This is by Analog Productions. Otis Redding. This has the original version of Respect that was covered and made uber famous by Aretha Franklin. This is at 45 RPM. A lot of R&B records were never recorded that great to begin with. This one was. This was an exceptionally well-recorded record, and it sounds fantastic at 45 RPM by Analog Productions. This is an essential record to own. If you listen to R&B, you listen to Otis Redding, and if you listen to Otis Redding, it's one of his best albums. Otis Blue. Again, all these can be purchased at our website at theingroove.com. Now, this is a record that is fantastic. Slim Harpo, the original King Bee. It's essentially a greatest hits. It's got Raining in My Heart, Baby Scratch My Back. This is one of those blues records that, as much as I've heard these tracks, I've never heard them sound that good. The original Excello recordings were mediocre. I was amazed when I heard how good this sounded, what they were able to do with this record. This is a record that's filled with content that's fantastic. Unlike a lot of audiophile records where they sound great, but music is, you know, kind of meh. This is not that. This is a record that sounds fantastic and the music is fantastic. Highly recommend that. All right, the legendary Son House, father of the folk blues. They do this on 45 RPM and 33 RPM. This is the 45 RPM version. Fantastic record. Kind of encapsulates that early blues from the early 1900s. This is much later in life. I think he died shortly after this, but this was originally on Columbia. Exceptionally well recorded, fantastic record. And Peebles, this is another great R&B record. Originals go for well over 100. They're always trashed when you find them. In Phoenix, they're next to impossible to find. But Speaker's Corner just did a killer job on this. 100% analog, and Peebles straight from the heart. Female vocals, analog records, hi-fi equipment. It's like just the absolute perfect match made for each other. And that kind of thing covers all of those bases. And last but not least, Canned Heat, Hooker and Heat. Johnny Lee Hooker. It's a double done by Pure Pleasure. I have this record in every format imaginable. I have the tape project, did a reel-to-reel 15 IPS of this. I've got originals, I've got various represses. This Pure Pleasure is the best sounding of the vinyl issues you're gonna find. Right under the tape, this is the one to own. Fantastic record. The content on this is amazing. Killer Cop, Boogie Chillin's on this. Fantastic record. Pretty much him, Johnny Lee Hooker, jamming out in the studio. Canned Heat was the backing band on this. I think this record was banged out in a couple of days. And they've got 2 discs worth of great content out of it. Highly recommend it, as well as a lot of the titles that Pure Pleasure puts out. A lot of the Pure Pleasure stuff is fantastic. Audiophile label out of the UK. All right, guys, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Until next time.